Chances are, if you're watching this video, you have been trying to start ambitious things, but for some reason, you always either stop prematurely or you give up too early, or you just don't find it in you to stay consistent. And I think in this video, I'm gonna give you, let's call it a map on how to navigate that feeling and how to stay consistent. And I'm gonna use myself as an example. So, about 10 months ago, I have discovered the path of remote sales calls, remote closing. Basically, I close other people's deals for them and I get a commission off of that. And I have been mentally in for this model for ever since then, ever since I discovered it, basically. But during those 10 months, you would think, oh my God, bro, you must have made it, right? But no, I haven't made it. Why? Because I've never was consistent on it. Because over 10 months, I have sent like 1,100 DMs, which might sound like a lot when you put it that way, but that's averaging what, 3 DMs every single day? That's fucking nothing. That's like literally nothing. Especially for someone who's just getting started with no reputation, with no practice, nothing. That literally barely moves the needle. It actually like doesn't move the needle anywhere because it moves, but then because of inconsistency, it goes back down. It moves, it goes back down, it goes. So like point is, I have been literally stuck by self, basically like I have been making myself stuck for the past 10 months. And what most people would have done is that, fuck it, sales don't work for me. Let me try this new shiny thing. Let me try drop shipping. Let me try this, marketing agency, whatever, right? But no, it doesn't work that way, and it's not unique to sales, by the way. It's unique to every single ambitious goal. I'm going to explain to you exactly why. So here's what happened in my brain. Look at the vision that I have for myself. The dream car, the Mustang Dark Horse SC, a car that basically will cost me $120,000. Living independently, having my own nice apartment, traveling, having financial freedom, this dream lifestyle of mine. Look at my present. I'm still in my same old messy room. I'm still broke. I'm still this same 22-year-old kid. I'm like 99% of my DMs get ignored, and even the 1% that get replied to, I get rejected on. So my brain is like, I'm trying to negotiate this thing with my brain, and like he's like telling me like, wait a minute, you promised me all this, but this is what I'm getting. Bro, it's been 3 days that we've been trying this. Why don't you just reach into your phone? Why don't you just play your usual game? Why don't you just watch porn? Why don't you just eat that junk food and get that same exact chemical in your brain? Get that same exact feeling. Because that's what our modern brains are wired to do. We are so hijacked by everything around us. Games, porn, junk food, social media, so many stuff, drugs, smoking, everything, Your brain, like the modern brain is like nothing like how the brain should or supposed to be working. You get what I mean? In ancient times, when someone wanted to, get something or build something, he knew he had to wait. That was the standard. When someone wanted to feel good, he knew he had to wait. He either had to wait for like months to finish building his house, waited for weeks to finish hunting that animal, wait for months or even years to wait for the crops to finish growing, and that would give him that same dopamine. But nowadays, look at what we have. You have your phone in your pocket, and that covers for 99% of your dopamine needs. How the heck do you expect your brain to stay invested in? So the solution is, you should pick a more achievable goal. But don't mistake this for settling for a lesser goal. We are not lowering your goal. So like, let's again use me as an example. My goal is to reach $10,000 by 12 months. So reach $10,000 a month by 12 months or so. That's my goal, right? But that vision, versus my reality, creates this insane contrast that my brain simply is not going to believe it, So what do? I do not lower the goal yet, but instead of waking up every single day and saying, okay, my goal is to reach 10,000, I wake up every single day and I say, okay, my goal is to reach $1,000 a month. We can even go deeper than that. Okay, $1,000 a month is maybe, like too far. It's actually too far. I've never made a single dollar from an online income method. So actually, like, my goal would be better to say, okay, my goal is to just hop on one single sales call. That's my goal for right now. That's my goal for every day that I wake up. I'm not going to obsess about money. I'm not going to obsess about numbers or anything like that. I'm just going to obsess about getting a single sales call. It doesn't matter if I close it or no. All that matters is I get that sales call, because now look at what's going to happen. Every time that I wake up, my brain is going to compare reality versus feedback, versus like the feedback from the vision that's created by that goal. And what vision does this goal create? Hopping on that sales call is not that far away, realistically speaking. I'm going to hop on that sales call in that same room, with that same PC, with that same environment, with that same guy, with that same financial level. So there's not much contrast. You don't have to negotiate as much with your brain. You get what I mean? So that is the solution, I believe. And actually, this is not just, oh, this should work. I've been actually trying this in real time. You know how I told you over 10 months I sent 1,100 DMs. Over the last 2 weeks I sent 267 DMs. That is a fifth of the volume in 2 weeks compared to 9 months. Like, that's what, like an eighth, even less than that. So point is, lower, you have to trick your brain to break down your goal. You don't have to settle for a lesser goal. You simply have to make it, break it down into more steps. It's good to keep that goal. I'm not saying like just say, oh, for this 12 months my goal is to just hop on 10 sales calls. No, that's fucking lukewarm. That is not obsession. That's not gonna get you anywhere significant. You should keep that goal, but you should give it, but you should treat it as a way to keep yourself aligned, to keep yourself on target, rather than to let yourself drift away. So yeah, try it for 2 weeks and you will see the rewards. You will see the results.